Live stream from the pub. That's what's happening. Right, James Cole?
Yes.
Where are we?
We are currently in the Belvedere in Liverpool, just off Hope Street, which is my local and also my favourite pub in Liverpool.
It's very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The fire's on.
Is it? Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is. Oh. How come I can't feel it over here? I could use a little heat.
Yeah.
All right, let's say hi to these guys.
Hey.
World's musicians. Hello, world. Wayne Banks.
There they all are. Just look at them. Fantastic. We just did a rehearsal. Long rehearsal. We can't tell you what we played, though. It's top secret.
Just.
Top secret. No, we started at 9.
Yeah, I got there at 9.
We were
We
9.
didn't play till 2.
We did.
You strolled up when you wanted to. Rudy got out of bed lunchtime.
Not true.
What do we got here? iBarge, the whole gang. Yeah, this is the whole gang today. That's right. We got everybody in here. We got my niece, her, you diehards. I know this is a weird time for this to happen, so I don't expect that it'll be well attended necessarily. What time is it? It's like noon.
12, yeah, noon.
On a Monday.
Yeah.
It's not a great.
Lunch.
Yeah, it's not a great time to be doing it as far as people's free time and stuff. So I'm sorry about that, but I wanted to because I missed yesterday. I missed yesterday because I was traveling all day. So yesterday I flew to Paris, and then I had what was supposed to be a 3-hour layover, and it turned into about a 4.5-hour layover.
You have to
The
explain that in the UK we had a little bit of snow. We had 2
Yeah.
inches of snow and the country stopped.
That was the main reason. Was Manchester Airport was where I fly into was closed in the morning, shut down due to snow, but they got it up and running again. So +1 for Manchester. Anyways, what else we got here? Let's see. What are you guys talking about? How about a guitar clinic tour? Sometime next year if I can. We will see about time. I'm just not sure. Today, though, we had fun. James has this. You don't have a picture of your red Les Paul, do you? That we can show the folks.
Which is being used for this.
Oh yeah, so we can't show. He has this really cool red Les Paul that sort of looks like. I guess it kind of looks like George Harrison's, doesn't it?
It's got a Lucy vibe to it.
Look like like George Harrison's Lucy Les Paul. It's a little less.
It's definitely faded. It's more cherry. It's almost like a 355 range.
Yeah, it's starting to look. Tell him about it.
So, actually came from a friend of mine, Paul Stacey, who it was his guitar, and he got it from it was Kate Bush's guitar.
Kate Bush's guitars.
Originally owned it. A dude called Brian Batt.
Okay, Brian.
Yeah, I know that because we took it all apart, and on the back of the pick guard and in all the P90s when I first had it, there's all these little notes saying Brian Batt, Brian Batt, Brian Batt.
Inside the guitar. Wow.
Inside everywhere. So it's a little time capsule.
Well, it's got a great neck.
Started life as a 54 Les Paul, was painted red sometime in the 70s because I found some video of it being played with Kate.
Really?
Oh, yeah, on a BBC
that's
show.
so cool.
And it's there and it's red. It had P90s and a Bigsby on it.
Oh, yeah. We had a Bigsby when, yeah. So he had this guitar years ago, and I played it, and it was really great. P90s original. Do you think the Bigsby was original to it?
No, I don't think it was original to it.
So it was a
Yeah, it was originally a Rat Tail.
A Rat Tail 50.
Yeah.
Is it 55 or 54? 50.
I think it's 54.
Yeah.
Just purely because I think the break in the neck angle is a little bit flatter, so I think it's more like.
Oh yeah. So that means the neck angle to the body was shallower, which was characteristic of that. Yeah. But anyway, so then he sells this guitar and went to France, right?
So yeah, it was because of the pandemic and financial. I basically was made an offer on this guitar that I instantly regretted as soon as it went.
Yeah.
And for years I thought it's gone, and then I kept in contact with the dude, and he sent some pictures to me, and he'd had some work done to it, routed and put paths in it rather than P90s, and
We call that PAF.
yeah,
You say PAFs
paths.
because you're English.
I do.
Yeah.
But we didn't invent them. You did, so I guess the PAFs
What, the Canadians invented them?
are closer than me.
True.
And so he sent me pictures with it all done, looking like a burst, like proper 59 Les Paul spec.
Yeah.
Instantly went, I really want it back. And then earlier this year, I just got a random. Sorry, early last year, we're now in 2025. When did that?
Oh, I have a picture of it on my phone because
And basically, he said, "Do you want to buy it back?" And couldn't afford it, but said yes. Got on the plane, went to his house and picked it up. And
you mentioned that you went to France, right?
Mm.
Okay, let me find the picture that I took of this guitar today. Where the heck is
Did
it?
you
There
take
it
it?
is. Yeah, this is it here. It's on a table with a bunch of other guitars, but you can see the red.
Yeah.
That's it right there. It's cool looking, right? So, and it's faded. It's interesting because it looks red in the picture, but it's kind of faded to almost a reddy brown now from the last time I saw it. But what a nice looking guitar, right? And real deal 54 Les Paul. Just kind of had some work done to it. Conversion situation.
Yeah.
Nice finish. Sounds stellar.
I
Nice.
don't think I've sent any pictures to Paul since, because it was Paul's original Paul Stacey's guitar. I don't think I've had sent any pictures since the type of work done. So,
Oh,
but yeah, I'm really happy. I've managed to get that guitar back. But if anybody's watched the collection,
yeah.
Kurt Hammett episode, I was watching that, and one of his many millions of vintage guitars he picked up was a factory red 59 Les Paul
Yeah.
with bite marks from a Bigsby. And I'm
Oh,
like,
so
it
super
looks
similar.
exactly like that.
Oh, that's cool.
So I was like, this is cool.
I have to watch that.
So I'm really happy it's coming out on this tour.
BC Rich says Pete Thorn's throwing his hat in the ring to be the new Canadian PM. I'll do the job. I can handle it.
I don't listen to politics anymore.
I don't either. I'm done. Yeah, finished. But I am fascinated with the idea of becoming Canadian Prime Minister. That sounds fun. Do you want to be my? See, I don't even know what's the.
I could be the UK Prime Minister. You could be Canadian Prime Minister.
Oh yeah, we'll be friends and yeah.
We'll have a special relationship.
Yeah, the Queen's still on our money, so yeah. Anyways, what else we got here? I'm just gonna light some of these. Missed you on Tone Talk, says Peter. Very cool announcement from Dave. So Dave Friedman is doing a Jose Arredondo official with the family. So Jose's daughter, and do you know Jose? Like he was
The motto.
the modder, with it kind of one of the original, really. And worked on Eddie's amps and stuff like that way back in the day.
Right.
And then for a million people, countless people did amps. Peter Frampton still uses a modded, Jose modded. Super lead or super bass actually. Super bass spec like yours. But anyway, so Dave is doing a official, it'll have Jose's signature, Arredondo, and even his face, I think, a picture of him on the amplifier. So it's kind of cool,
Nice.
and it's a nice gesture that he got, obviously got the family involved, he got official approval. So they did a live stream the other day on Tone Talk talking about it with Jose's daughter. Yeah, nice gesture, making them part of the family.
So quick question on that.
Yeah.
So was Jose doing the same stuff at the time as what Howard Dumble was doing?
No, I mean Dumble worked on
as in modding amps, which then developed into their own products. Was it completely different concepts?
Jose never made an amp for sale, although he was trying to. That's a long story. We'll talk about that later. But he was attempting to make an amplifier, but he never that never came to fruition. Something for sale, so it was always just mods. But he did a lot of mods for well-known guitar players and stuff, and he had some really good ideas. Like he was just basically everybody was trying to make the amp sound like it sounded like an amp like yours, like it sounds when you turn it way up, but at a lower volume, right? And that much gain. Everybody's like, we'd love the sound of these things, but they're just too damn loud. So how do you get that sound at lower volume? So he was like, well, maybe if I do this, and he came up with some great ideas. Was one of the first kind of, So, and it's pretty simple stuff. It's basically a gain stage in front of a plexi. Sort of that was the main mod. He did a lot of other things too, but the gain stage in front of a plexi is really that's 60% of the of the deal. But it's the way that you take that gain stage and then tune it. You can't just have a big old gain stage wide open in front. You need to cut low end out of it. You need to bleed off high end, and so it ends up becoming kind of like a mid boost,
right,
almost into the first gain stage of the plexi. So if you think about it, actually kind of what a Boss OD1 or SD1 does.
Okay.
That's kind of a poor man's version of that. It's basically like a pedal that's, they have no low end, those drives, right? All the low end is blocked off. And they have a kind of a narrow, you know what I'm saying? So and
it pushes
the mids right into and that keeps it from getting too, and it keeps it tight and rocking. So a little bit like it's not actually really unlike what a treble is. That sound of what and you get, so when you're adding a tube, it's just a tube stage that's working a high voltage in the amplifier. So kind of interesting, because a treble booster to me is really almost like a mid boost. It's treble for sure, but it's kind of it's doing this to the, you know what I mean? It's like really
we were. I remember I asked you to come over because I had two sounds that didn't have any more gain onto it. It just changed the EQ. Kind of sound. And all it was a treble boost with the tone up, with the gain down, and just
James uses a really nice. It's about 71 or 72 or something, right?
Nice bass,
super bass, but 50. So in 1986 is
is the model.
And it's a great sounding amp. And so we're just referencing today, trying to tone with a treble boost in front of that for something, or just using the amp. And
but
we decided the amp was better.
Not for gain, not for any more punch. A little bit.
A little bit. It's like a little bit. It's driving into and kind of tightening it, doing a thing. But interesting stuff. Let's see, am I at the bottom of the chat? Yes, I am. So who we got here? Let's see. What are my thoughts on the Carvin X100B? Okay, so this was an amplifier. The Carvin, Carvin here? Okay, because you're English, and here's the thing: you could only buy it mail order. They didn't have dealers.
All right.
So back in the day, it was one of those things. Imagine no dealer network in Europe, and they're not going to make it over here unless somebody buys one, sells it over here. So they were made in Southern California, and the X100B was like an amplifier head, the 100-watt head that had graphic EQ on it. Mm-hmm. And I don't know anything about the architecture of them, like whether they were Marshall or Fender or something else completely. Not really sure. I visited Carvin in around 85 or 86. My dad took me there. I remember that was the first time I'd ever played a Carvin guitar or one of their amps, because it was. And my dad was like, I remember he's a businessman. I remember after leaving, he was like, "They don't have any dealers," and I was like, "No, he's like, that's a bad business model."
You think about it in the 80s, before social media, with no dealer network.
How did they do it? But they managed to stick around for it, and they had endorsers. Craig, what's his name? Craig.
Jesse's laugh is louder than everything in there.
Yeah. He just said, "What's Mark's last name?" And basically went, "Marku."
So X100B. Anyways, X100B. My memory of it, and this was kind of the very first gear demo. I think I'm gonna give props to Steve Vai, because Guitar Player Magazine every now and then would put what was called a flexi disc, which was like a record that you could play on a record player. But it was a piece of plastic, right? And they put it in their magazines, and you could rip it out, put it on your turntable, and pop the needle on it. Is anybody out there going to remember this? I wonder. But there was a flexi disc song that Steve Vai did with the X100B, guitar, bass, drum song. It was called Blue Powder, I think.
Right.
This is how nerdy I am. I remember this name of the flexi disc song. And it was one of my favorite things that I'd ever heard him do, actually. It's such a cool little tune. And he recorded it as a demo of the X100B. Steve Vai plays the X100B, and did this whole song with it. And it's a really cool tune. And I thought the amplifier sounded amazing on it. And I was kind of like, oh my God, I have to try one of these amplifiers one of these days. So that's my only real, if you can find Blue Powder, which you could probably go on YouTube and search and find right now. by Steve Vai.
Isn't
I'm
it
going to
ama-
say the first gear demo.
Isn't it amazing you could buy a magazine and it come with a free record?
Yeah, it came with a free record. Yeah, they used to just every now and then there'd be like lessons with
Yeah.
like examples on the flexi disc and stuff. So yeah, somebody's writing blue powder. You remember, right? Somebody remember? It was cool, but that's kind of my only X100B story that I've got. But anyways, and because I don't remember what they sound like, and I've never really played.
That was
through
the
one
first time I heard Steve Vai.
enough. Oh, really? That's interesting. Yeah, yeah. I'd heard him because I had Flexible at that point. And I'm pretty sure he was already playing with David Lee Roth then. Maybe not, but I'd heard the Attitude song and stuff for sure by then. Maybe he wasn't playing with David Lee Roth yet. Might have been '84 or something that came out. But anyway, kind of interesting. But yeah, I've always thought that was the first gear demo that I'm aware of. You know? Yeah. See, this guy Blue Powder. I had it.
The Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper.
Oh yeah, Jason Becker. That's right. He played Carvin. And Craig, how do you say his Chicao or something? From Jefferson Starship. The guitar player in Jefferson Starship. He had a signature. It was like a kind of like almost like an explorer shape, but like an X almost. A crazy looking thing with a Kaler on it. Pink, I think, or something.
Do we think boutique luthiers and makers is almost like a modern thing? Not at all.
Sorry?
Do you think like the idea of being a boutique luthier or a handmaker is more of a modern, but it's been going for such a long time. It's just
Yeah, there was companies for sure. There was done well. So we give a little. We should give props to Rivera. So Rivera.
Mhm.
He modded Fenders and stuff into. He also designed like around 81, 82. Fender had the Super Champ and the Concert. A few different amps that were like the 80s versions of those amps. Those were Rivera Fenders designed by him. And he was at that time also modding Fender amps. And like he modded amps for. I think Warren DeMartini had a Rivera modded Champ, and Steve Lukather recorded. I think the solo on Rosanna might be that. Okay, anybody know this? What was it? Which solos did Steve Lukather use? I may be getting it mixed up, but Warren DeMartini used one on Out of the Cellar for solos. I think a little combo that was Rivera modded, and this kind of popularity. I mean, I think he kind of started in the '70s with mods and stuff. So yeah, that's right. Look at you guys are such nerds. This is great. This is the dude from Starship. He had the X220. That's right. So, you'd order the catalog and you'd be on the mailing list. I have several Carvin catalogs. I mean, to be fair, Mesa Boogie was only factory direct. They didn't have dealers when they first came out. There was a Mesa store in Hollywood.
Yeah, opposite. Is it the same one that was opposite Guitar Center?
Yeah. That's right. And they had that, I believe, that space for a long, long time. But there was nowhere else you could go buy one. They didn't have them. Then eventually they opened up to dealers by about the mid 80s. They were in Canada anyway, but and in certain dealers, but they didn't have.
So, I think let's think about now, and how many times do we look at a piece of gear, guitar, pedal, amp, anything, and we'll go and spend 3 hours on YouTube. Or watching different demos, watching this. How did that happen? In the 80s?
In the 80s. Yeah, you didn't know, you bought it sight unseen. That was why I made the demo of the Sir Badger originally. Because I thought, okay, they're gonna make this amp, but they're only in certain stores. Like they had, dealer network's much bigger now. Back then it was like select dealers, and I thought, I'll make a video of this amplifier because maybe it'll help people out it was the very first sort of gear demo I did was the Sir Badger. Because they gave me a nice, like an artist price on it, and they sold me a prototype. Basically, they'd made 20 of them or something. And I really went to the factory. I really liked it. I was sort of starting my thing with them. And I got home and I was like, well, how can I thank them for that? And I started the YouTube channel already, but I wasn't I had no idea what I was doing. And I thought I'll just plug it in and record it. I've got a couple nice mics, and I'll just play some simple rock riffs through it. So ZZ Top and David Bowie. Like I played Rebel, and So just got paid or something, a couple other things through it and tried to show off the tones. That was my very first gear video. And the reason was because I thought this would maybe be useful because nobody can hear this thing, or unless you're at a dealer, you're close to one or something. And then people get an idea over the internet what it does. Super Champ. Yeah, that was the Fender one. Yeah. Attitude Song was amazing, right? Because it was like, oh, who's this guy? Like crazy whammy bar stuff and the cool kind of odd meter riff and all that. It was really you know, he was very forward thinking to make a record. Steve made a record called Flexible in his house in a home studio in Silmar, California.
Yeah.
He lived in a little house. He had a home studio set up with an 8-track, and he did an album there. This album called Flexible that had the Attitudes on it, made him kind of a household name. So got out there in Guitar Player magazine, started featuring him, and that album eventually went gold. 500,000. It's amazing. You know, that it sold
Off an 8-track.
and he's owned the rights to that record always. He's never said like, so he's like, you do the math. He's like, he did an article in Guitar Player years later where he's talking about it. He goes, I'm not saying this to impress or like as a flex. I'm saying it as an inspiration. Like you do your own thing, and if it goes like kind of, he's like, I still get $7.98 or whatever he gets for every single one sold. And it's sold under 500,000. So pretty cool.
That's great.
It's like independent success story. Pretty cool. I bought my first Carvin at a shop in '88, a red V, used. Yeah, because I don't think they never had dealers. I mean, there was like Mesa, they had a store in Hollywood. Eventually, that was right across from Guitar Center.
Yep.
So there was a Carvin store there. Yeah.
Is that
was
store
it.
still going? I know the Mesa sign's still there, but is this still
No, the Mesa store is gone. Yeah, they closed it eventually, which is too bad. It was a cool store. You know? It used to be a store dealer. I mean, they couldn't sell the amps because it was Mesa, but they had
definitely had
pickups.
some T's on the wall.
Yeah, as well as like Nash and some other good guitar brands. What's you guys talking about? Let's see. The audience is listening was my introduction to Steve Vai. Oh yeah, that was very cool one. Yeah, Horsey, the Crossroads film. Yeah, Crossroads was where that was so cool. And then I became aware that he had recorded all the guitars. You know the movie Crossroads? Ralph Macchio? Steve played all the guitar parts. Yeah, and the Ry Cooder was, I think Ry Cooder was like the music, supervisor director for the movie.
Thank you. No, thank you. We're on the live stream. We do not discuss the set. Sorry.
Yeah.
We do not. That is. Can I just say that is the first strike of the tour?
Yeah, we actually have a strike system.
I think my favorite is called
Now you're just
Yellow
lying.
card.
Oh man. What else are you guys talking about here?
What a way to kill the mood.
Yeah. We lost our train of thought. What do you think of the JC?
Yes.
Oh, probably not. I think there's cancellations. It's probably just little bits coming through. How's the sound, by the way? Because I have the noise cancellation turned on, so I think some of the background is getting cut out. Hopefully, you can hear us well, but not them. Not that
Kathy. Oh, I missed that. Say it louder.
loud. Yeah, I think you're good. No strike. Strike averted. Strike
No, you
averted.
still can't talk about it.
Strike averted, though. I don't think they heard that. Yeah. What do you think of the JCM 900 SLX? Do you know that amp?
I know 900. I don't know the SLX.
The SLX was a one-channel. So they made the dual reverb, the two-channel kind of precursor to the JCM 2000. The dual channel, kind of widely panned. Most people don't really like that amp. But the SLX is kind of a sleeper. And it's pretty cool. It's kind of a gain monster, like sort of a modded. It was just a one channel.
Please excuse my ignorance. Isn't that what Bonamassa has? Doesn't he use some?
No, he uses a Jubilee.
Jubilee.
He likes Jubilees, which is totally different. It's got like some sort of solid state clipping, some sort of icy clipping in it. But he likes them, and he kind of helped repopularize it actually. Yeah. Let's see. What else we got here? Sound is not bad. Really? That's good to hear.
Well, it is a Monday lunch. It's a Monday lunchtime. You're in LA, and it's
It is.
Monday evening here. So
We're having our Monday lunch beer.
Right, Rudy?
Are you? You talking about the set? They can't hear you anyway.
So what can we say from today? You know what? I would like to give a little shout out to Freight Minds who collected your gear.
Oh, Frame Minds.
Yeah, what day did they collect your gear?
28th
Yeah.
of December.
Yeah, arrived today perfectly. Everything's great. It's just nice and reassuring that
They seem like a good company.
it's nice and that we can do that.
I get a lot of questions about it, like how do you get your gear? What do you do? Do you rent? Do you what? You know, and I actually end up sending quite a bit of stuff usually, and they do a good job. A company called Frame Lines in LA.
You have a kind of core backline which lives with us.
Yeah, there's two 412s over here, two Sur
Keep
412s.
getting added. We keep finding things.
Yeah. There's a lot of PT 100 amps here right now for some reason.
1, 2. That's not.
So it's interesting, but yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I send things over via freight company. They come pick them up and then they put them on a pallet. They pallet them all. And they go on a plane. It works good. Yep. What else we got here? I can't believe you're playing in my hometown tonight. Am I playing in your hometown? I'm not. I'm
We're
not
rehearsing tonight.
performing tonight. Yeah, but we will be back here, right? At the film.
We're here on the 17th and 18th
Of January?
Yeah, so in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
No,
then.
week and a half. Yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah. Friday and Saturday.
We will be here, ready to go.
Both have almost sold out, but not quite. So not far off.
Not far off. Oh, cool. From that's right. Len, met you. Man, that's the. Actually, it's not that far from here. If you want to talk about distance, I was going to say that's an awfully long way from here, but it's probably the closest point in North America to here that there is.
Oh, is that when you went all the way? You went
Newfoundland?
Yeah, Newfoundland.
So as far, let's take a look at the map.
Oh, you can get there in probably 4 hours.
Yeah, no, you could actually fly there from here. Here, check this out. It's kind of funny. I'll open up my map if it'll load. It's literally.
Yeah, it's funny because when I'm flying over, I'm like, yeah, we're in the States. Oh, only another 6 hours to go.
Yeah. No, that's right. But this place is okay. It's almost opening up here.
So was it Newfoundland Finland when
It's literally here. Man.
oh,
Right
St.
there.
John, yeah.
Yeah, so they're around kind of this side of the island, but anyways, it is the closest point in North America to Liverpool.
So was it Newfoundland when 9/11 happened? All the planes got diverted to?
Oh, they did,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's right. Planes got diverted to Newfoundland
Yeah.
isn't that right, Len? To there, which is amazing because it's quite a small place. The people there took in a lot of people.
Yeah.
It was a big. If you go to St. John's, a lovely place, but it's not big.
Right.
So that was a major, you know. Well, they did a
They
great
made a job. How many planes landed on that day? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great place, Newfoundland. It's a really really interesting. The geography is like all the trees are really short. You probably have places like that here because of the wind, so much wind in North Atlantic and stuff. So islands and things, and it's like so they got tiny little trees there, and that's not interesting. But anyway, but it is interesting. You know what is interesting is the accent. In Newfoundland, because so many people, that's the first
Canadian.
place where everybody would. Well, no, there's people there that sound full on Irish that have never been to Ireland. Like I met people, and they basically it was explained to me that because of Utah where it is, that would be the first place people from Europe would always land when they came over. And and so people would come, and this was the layman's, for me because I'm an idiot, version told to me. Some folks would show up. Who knows where they were from? They were from the Netherlands, or they were from wherever, and they'd hang out for 100 years and make a little community and stuff. And then some other people would show up, and there would be a fight and war of sorts, and they'd kick their ass and be like, "Okay, you're out of here. We own this now." And they'd be like, "Ah, shit." And then they'd just go around the other side of the island, the other people. And he's like, they didn't leave. It's a big island. Yeah, they just go over here, and then they go over, and this kept happening over hundreds and hundreds of years. And that's the mash of accents and stuff of Europe and the whole. Yeah, so pretty interesting. Everybody stayed.
We'll have to do a gig there.
Eventually, they were all from Newfoundland. Yeah. Oh, it's a fun place to play music. Yeah, they've got a rich music culture there, actually. So nice place. Yeah. What amp did I use to record live in here? Oh, that's a really good question, actually. So the main tone is actually a plugin. So I was using. It's actually before I had my own plugin with Brainworks. Friedman had the B100 plugin, and when we tracked, so I tracked the drums in my studio, just a sort of big live open room, but I didn't have a separate control room or anything. This was before I built my room. So it was just in the big open room there. Kurt Biscara came over and set up his kit, and I had a brand new at the time Apollo 8 interface from UA, and I set up the interface to set up 8 microphones because I had 8 input, and just recorded using that interface on my laptop. And I told, I basically worked out the arrangement with Kurt. I was like, how am I going to do this? It's a pain in the butt to make an amp, so it's just a plug-in. Right. So in UA, on UA console, I pulled up the Friedman BE and set up a cool tone or whatever, and then I just jammed with him with headsets, and he played, that's all I had. And then I was like, the tone sounds really good. Why don't I just use this for the... So the main guitar part is like the rhythm guitar part that comes in at the beginning is that plug-in, because I thought it sounds so good, I'm getting used. You get used to things, and then you're like, well, no, I don't want to change it.
So how much, when you're using plugins, how much of an effect does the preamp that you're using have on the plugin?
So in other words, if you're going through like a super nice tube DI or something,
yeah,
I mean, it makes a difference, but I'm generally lazy and I'll just plug right in the 1/4 inch in on the front of the UA.
Right.
It's like the high Z input or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could use other things. And it's just like, I guess it's like running a nice buffer or a pedal, or it's the first stage of whatever, and you might like what it does. Or you might like the cheap version. Just plug
but when you're looking at preamps and for, if you're looking for an audio interface,
yeah,
do they, depending on which one you're using, does it affect how the plugins will sound?
Yeah, because it's all arbitrary. I mean, you could use the gain to boost and just like you would a clean boost, right? You're plugging into it and then you're going to drive it up a little bit into the front end, and that could be your sound. Maybe it's or the way that you might like the way that a certain DI or something buffers, the Rupert Neve DI or whatever, like there's different. I mean, generally I'm plugging right into the 1/4 inch in on the UA because it's designed, it's about the impedance and stuff of it too. So it's designed to see a guitar input. But yeah, I mean, an interesting thing, like, here's another thing, like your Axe effect, right? You might take an Axe effects and plug it into a mic free and like that sound, like into some Neves or something, and then run that for Axe, or run that, you know what I mean? Like into, I know people that do that. George Pahone, from he plays with Black Eyed Peas, and he also has a great band. He uses I'm not sure the pre's, there might be APIs or something, or Neves, but he runs the outputs of the Axe effects into microphones. And then Dave Friedman was telling me that he was like listening to it and going, yeah, it's definitely better. Like it sounds does the thing. So, but it all affects everything, I guess. So, question for James: tell us how you think the classic. Tell us about how you do the classic rock show. When do you start putting a set together?
Wow. Do you know what? It's an ongoing. It is an ongoing debate. So the set list is kind of a development every year, and Pete can have his input on this, but I do very much want the input of every musician in the show. And even when I don't want the input of everyone in the show, I'm very, very much get it. So it is, we do end up having, it's kind of become a team effort. But the Classic Rock Show has been going for 15 years now. You've been in it for 5 years.
Yeah.
And every year it just keeps going from strength to strength. But classic rock as a genre seems to always keep kind of widening. And in the US's perception of classic rock is different to the UK, which is different to Germany, and so we do have to adapt the set list wherever we go. And there's an argument that we change it too much, but just because we have so much fun kind of learning all new songs. And, the only thing I will say about this year is we've learned quite a lot of new stuff today, haven't we?
Yeah, there's a lot of material today. Well, we had a 10-hour rehearsal today, but it was good. I feel like it went really well.
Yeah. This is a celebration game of all the music that we grew up learning.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's all fun songs. It's all good songs. I think if anything's like, if we're playing it and it's just, you're like, The funny thing is, you could play it and think this is going to be great, and then you play it and you're like, yeah, you know, it's a stinker. And then you might be like, oh, I'm not really looking forward to that one. And then you play it with the band, and you're like, this is actually pretty cool, you know. And then it happens like that, and then you don't really know until you get out there and play and look at the audience what's going to happen, right? Like
Our job is to entertain.
yeah, I mean that's it's
So-
supposed to be a celebration.
Yeah, and
It's
so
an
we
entertainment.
want to make sure what we're playing is having the right having the right effect.
Having the right effect. That's all it is. But how do you do it? I guess it probably to be really sort of just the technical answer or whatever about like when does it probably start around August or September talking about songs, right?
Yeah, so from that perspective, we start talking. Yeah, I'm constantly thinking, but I'll start sending version 1 out in September, and we'll end up with version 10
Yeah.
of the set list. But in regarding from a stage production perspective, video and lighting, that we're doing that now. So we've got 4 days of rehearsals, and then we do we're going to Portsmouth, and we've got a production day. And I send those guys what we're doing, and we pretty much we do a lot of prep beforehand, and everybody does their homework. We're usually pretty honest.
Yeah. I mean, we actually have a little more time this year. Maybe an extra half day to rehearse.
I've just added hopefully an extra half day, so that should it's made me feel a little bit less stressed.
But today we got through the whole first half, which is really good. You know, so tomorrow, and that's including with setup and getting monitor mixes and stuff. So it was a lot, you know, to set up all the gear and then actually play through. How many songs? Probably like
10
12,
10 or 12.
and maybe, you know, a lot of them we did twice or 3 times to just nail it down.
So good.
So yeah, so you're gonna enjoy and appreciate the sound acoustics of the Phil. Oh, we played there many times. So it's James. You've probably played there more gigs than any other venue in your life, right?
Yeah.
Because he lives very close.
Yeah, it's the closest this pub is to my house.
I love playing there. I will say this: it's a great place to play. The stage is very wide.
It's a philharmonic
And-
hall, so it's
yeah.
built for orchestra, so the sound reverberates. So it's not the best for a rock gig.
Yeah, it's cool. It's just, especially if you're not wearing in-ears, which I'm actually going to try and wear my ears a lot this year. So I'm trying to have them in most of the set, probably like 90%, 80% of the time. Pull them out for a couple things that I just want to have open. But in the past, I'd get to the middle of the stage in the Philharmonic, and I'd be like, you know, 'cause you get a lot of sound coming off the back. And then I'd be like, I'm sort of losing the drums here. I'm playing like you're using the force a little bit to find the time in that place. That's the only thing. If we had a full blown monitor rig with side fills and everything, I probably wouldn't have that problem. But because most of the people, these guys are nice enough to let me have it. You've got a wedge. I've got a wedge. Rudy's got a wedge in the middle.
Vocalists now have a wedge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is good, but they don't want drums in their wedge.
no,
So
it's just for vocals. Yeah.
just vocals. So if I walk to the front and I'm in the middle of the stage, I'm still going to lose the drums a little bit if I'm too far forward. And then you start hearing the PA more, which is always a bit of delay. And then you start hearing the sound off the back wall, and it's going to just be like, "Where's the time? You know, where do I lock to?" So
It's really hard playing, isn't it?
it's so hard. What a job! Jeez, it's drudgery, 24/7. What are you guys talking about out there? Can't you even give a little song hint? It's going to be the best classic rock show you've ever seen.
We're playing Queen.
Yeah, we're doing Queen. I guess we could say band instead of no. Always got to do some Zeppelin. Always got to do some Queen.
Do you want something else?
I'll have a half.
I'll do a half. What do I have? What was it?
A
A
half.
half.
A half of the Thorn
half.
Bridge.
Thornbury.
I'm on the Pollies. Pollies.
So
Thank
So 2 polys, a gluten-free.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Dry January's gone out the window, so it's currently damp January.
It's damp January.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're in England after all.
By January when we're on tour.
No, that would be very difficult. It would be a difficult. Yeah.
It's Kathy, so
Yeah.
I will give her 1.
A one?
I'll give her 1.
What's that mean?
I'll give her 1 song that we are doing.
Oh, okay. Good.
No, we're doing status quo.
Some status quo.
Yeah.
But we won't say the song. We can
But
say
we are doing
band.
quo.
We can say band.
We're doing quo.
Doing some quote. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Just spent 8 hours shoveling snow. Time to chill. Where are you, Billy?
Where do we think the leak came from?
Where are you, Billy Wagner?
Well, they're on flood with transportation.
Just in the middle of recording a jam for IG. Oh, cool.
We've heard they're not doing.
Hope it's going well. Huh?
Where have they heard that from?
Well, it doesn't mean it's true.
No, that's what I'm saying.
What?
Where did the leak come from?
Who started
Oh,
that?
thank you.
It's definitely not your dad.
Wasn't me.
It's not like that.
Well, this is fun. We got 169 people online that wouldn't normally, be here on a Monday afternoon. They've shown up. You guys rock. We love you. We should probably go soon. This has been
How long are we doing?
been
40
good.
minutes.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. We'll hang for another like 5, and then we'll split. And I'm gonna start thinking about dinner. I might go to. Well,
You're
I'm
gonna-
not
you're
not
gonna-
gonna say it, but
The place.
the place. Yeah, I might do it. We'll go again. What song did you think was gonna do great live but didn't go over that well? Can we say that?
Thank you. Well, from previous years. I mean,
Yeah, like
I
last year.
well, yeah, go on. You give yours, and I'll give one from a couple before your time.
I was incredibly certain that the Foreigner song we played last year was going to go over gangbusters,
In the state.
and it was just kind of pretty good.
Jukebox Hero.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was pretty good. It
It's okay.
was okay, but I thought it was going to be. It was fun, but that's Peter, our sound guy. He says he said he liked it, but I just felt like it was like
Thank you, Rudy.
I don't know, like people are like not as excited about
I'll tell
it.
you
as I
what,
thought
this
they
is
would.
before your time, but with Toto, we've always done Rosanna. And we decided to do Hold the Line. And I was like, absolutely, definitely work.
Yeah,
Home run. And we played it for 5 or 6 gigs. And I don't know what I was expecting,
but it
but it
just
wasn't that. It
mm,
wasn't the reaction. I was like, this hasn't worked like. And maybe the thing that goes, to answer your question, sometimes that we build a song up to be higher than what it is, or what it might be.
sorry.
And so sometimes it still gets a great reaction,
Really
but
great.
not necessarily
Yeah,
what I think.
Are we
it might
talking
get.
about our favorite songs? Or
we're just talking about
No,
what
least
didn't
favorite?
work.
No, not from this year. From
Songs-
so
yeah,
basically, the
that's what I'm
question
thinking.
was, what songs from previous years
didn't work?
Didn't work.
did not work as well as you thought they may?
What do you think?
Right.
Like it,
So,
like oh, it's gonna be
so
great,
when we
and
did
then it
hold,
just
I think
doesn't-
Hold the Line, I built it up to be a home run smash, and,
right,
it
right.
didn't.
Right.
Depends
Same
where
with the-
it goes as well, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Same with the Journey tune, I think.
Which one?
Either both.
No, I
either-
think
either
they've been
or.
great. We were saying in the States when we
In the
did
States,
when
for
we
sure.
did Jukebox, it was great, but I didn't think it went
I
over.
thought it was like, oh,
I think No Believe a Word didn't go down very well. We did that.
oh, yeah, that was nice though. The Thin Lizzy.
When we did
Yeah,
Rainbow,
it's a
in the
little bit of
States,
a
that-
deep cut.
Yeah.
It's a deep.
Oh,
Since
yeah.
you've been gone-
I will actually tell this story quickly.
Oh.
So 2017, first time we did the States,
I loved it.
and we were in. I can't remember where we were for the first gig. And anyway, I gave the set, and Rudy was really good and went Rainbow. What's the song called? I forgot. Since You've Been Gone. It's not known in the States. Don't do it. And I was like, idiot. Of course it's famous. Don't be stupid. Anyway, we played it, and
Everybody was like, "What's this?"
nobody clapped. I think 3 people kind of went,
Yeah,
and I went, I should listen to the American more.
yeah. Right. That was through experience.
Yeah.
You never know until you try something.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, okay, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
But you guys, a lot of you guys out there gig and play. I'm sure many of you covers and stuff, and you have that experience where you don't know until you actually try it.
But with a show like this, it's not just about one single song. It's about the flow of how a song then flows into something else. And
Yeah.
you can easily talk about that song's always not purist because it's not from 1968 to 75. It's a bit later. It doesn't matter, but it's what it goes after and how they flow together. And as a section of music, does it do what? Does it make you feel good? And does it work? And that's what I've been trying to focus more on, rather than just focusing on the single. thing
Right.
with the-
More of the flow of the arc of the show. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the sets, I feel like in this band, at least for the majority, should almost feel like you push play at the beginning and then I'll see you at the end, at the end of the first one. And same thing at the second one with a different arc. But for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Rudy. Todd saying just in the, oh, sorry, I highlighted that already. Well, that's cool, Todd. I hope it's working out. Just pulling an issue. Guitar player from 87, Warren D. Martini on the cover. You got me looking at the old mags. I love it, man. Old guitar magazines are the coolest.
Do you collect guitar magazines?
I used to, but I lost them all. Like I brought them from, I paid to have them shipped, or my mom probably paid to have them shipped when I was 19 from Canada. I had every guitar player, Guitar for the Practice Musician, and Guitar World from about 1981 through 90.
So did
90
they have
years.
tabs in all lessons of learning?
Great stuff, yeah, great stuff. And I learned a lot. I mean, there's still stuff that I remember from, particularly Steve Morse. And he had a great column in Guitar Player magazine with all kinds of cool, useful stuff in it. He wrote like really long-standing. He was, writing for forever for that magazine. It was great. They actually put out a book. You can probably find it even if it's out of print now, but you can probably find it used. But there was a book of all of his guitar player columns that I bought eventually because I learned so much from them.
Yeah,
really cool stuff. Yeah, and it was a good place if you needed a transcription of a song. Many of them were inaccurate though. That's the only thing. Get some transcriptions not quite right, but yeah. I don't know why people were talking about Carvin back in the chat, but I got the bolt-on hardtail kit and love it. Oh yeah, they sold kits. I remember. What's that?
3.3.
Half theory.
I think it's a 3.2 or 3.3.
What's 1 kilogram in pounds?
Is it 3.3?
2.2.
2.2.
2.2 pounds. See the things you can learn on Sunday Live or Monday Live or whatever the heck this is.
Monday Pub.
Yeah, Monday Pub Live. It's pretty good actually. I like that. You bet. Oh, that'd be fun. It'd be a good song to do.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that?
No.
Cool tune.
Yeah.
Kind of that later period Who is, that's when I started listening to them. So it's like, also like Eminence Front would be really fun.
Yeah.
That's a deep cut. Not a deep cut. It was
No,
a
the
hit.
vocals that's
It's a
on that.
single.
It's a great song.
Eminence Front.
That and You Better You Bet.
You Better You Bet's awesome. Yeah, I remember the lyrics. Like I was probably 10 the first time I heard it, and I was like, this song's insane.
Yeah, just loads of great
Dog keeps
BBs.
licking my nose.
Yeah.
Saying you better. Yeah, I loved the Who. Growing up, that was my shit.
The Who's a funny one because we always kind of do one of a few Who tracks, but even though we focus on the few, there's so many which are in kind of that next category down. You've kind of got 3, 4, which are kind of the guarantees, and then there's like 15.
Well, there's other, there's 515 to me, The Real Me. There's all these great songs you can do that are just like, so what do you do?
Yeah.
But we played some pretty fun ones. Well, we wanted a Poison tune for an 80s gig, chose Fallen Angel, never went over well. Yeah, that's the thing. You're probably better off just doing Every Rose Has Its Thorn, right? Yeah, just like every night it has its dawn.
It's the song. It's one of those songs you wish you wrote but never want to listen to.
Yeah, I could use the money. That's for sure. 87 guitar player, Gibson US. Oh, I remember those. It was a not a bolt-on. It's a glue-in neck sort of super Strat. Kind of like their version of a Jackson Soloist, I think, sort of almost. Yeah, I'm nerdy. I remember. Any Saga covers? That if we ever went to Canada, we have got the keyboard player with Henry that we could. There's this amazing song I'll play you after called "On the Loose."
Right.
That was this band from Canada called Saga.
Right.
What a bitch to play! I actually did it with Took, the band with Todd Kearns and the Canadian rock cover band, the guys from Flash's band and stuff. So I filled in on a gig with them. All they do is Canadian rock. Yeah, and they're great at it. They fucking kill it. Like they're really, really good at it. But they do On the Loose. And, oh my God, I'll play you it's gnarly. It's prog almost is what it is, but it was a big hit. It was actually a big hit. But there's crazy guitar keyboards. And it's in F. It's the worst key. And it's like, why did you guys do the song? It was such a cool tune. If we ever do, well, we do any Canada, which may happen at some point.
It may.
We got to do that.
Mhm.
Yeah. It'll be a blast to play that song. Actually.
That and the whole Harvard Rush.
Yeah, we'll just do first side of hemisphere. That'll be great. What else? Well, I guess we should go. We talked about going, so this has been fun though. I'm glad. Thanks for doing this with me.
No.
We didn't know he was going to do this, so I didn't know you were going to
No,
do this.
it's all good.
You didn't know you were going to do this. We didn't know you were going to do this.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right, you guys, take care. Next Sunday we'll be in Birmingham on right Birmingham next Sunday.
Yeah.
And
After the gig,
playing-
we'll do it on the bus because do you know what also is? It's day off Eve.
oh, okay,
I'm
we'll do it on the bus.
You know what else?
We're going to
You
Grimsby.
know what else? Playoff football, baby.
But is it
Yeah.
during the day?
Denver Broncos.
But night time.
It's at 6
I've
p.m.
got two
Oh.
shifts.
The Denver Broncos game.
Okay.
Very excited.
Do you know what I'm really
Okay.
into? This stadium golf.
I'll tell you what.
The TGL.
Yeah.
The Tiger League.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe
Yeah.
next week, we'll get Pete over there, known as Pete the Third.
Oh,
There's
you
our,
can do them.
That's our sound guy. and you know how I always bitch about sound guys? Not him. That guy rules right there. He rules. So maybe you can be. Maybe we can. You know. What's that? What's that? Yeah. We'll tell the story about the first day we worked together. Like how I was like, all right, I like this guy a lot. This is going to be good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah. He's also the most amenable sound guy. I remember the things that have nothing to do with guitar, like where, I'll go out and I'll look at the, you'll be stuck with the house PA some days. Not here on this tour, but that particular tour, stacks and racks and stuff were house stuff, and you go out and look at it, it'd be like a box PA from they got a couple of. That's right. You had to make, right. But you're always like, yeah, it'll be fine. I'll make it work. It's all good. It's going to sound great. Yeah. Yeah. It's like very happy. Yeah. Well, anyways, all right. See ya.
We've had a great time. We've had a good first day.
Had a really good first day. We'll rehearse for the next few days, and
We'll have done 2 gigs by then.
by next Sunday. Yeah. So if we look depressed next week when we get on here, things didn't go well, but that's not going to
I
happen.
think we will be okay.
Yeah,
I have a good feeling.
It's all good. It's all good. It's a good team. Thanks you guys so much for tuning in at this weird time. And I'm sorry I missed yesterday. Couldn't make it. Was on a plane.
I go in spurts.
Everybody take care. Signing off from, what is this called?
Belvedere.
The Belvedere.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Cheers to you. See ya. Thanks all.